Without any previous planning, DynamoDB is capable to provide the service to satisfy this demand. And it can adapt according to the workload. So again, you think the most advantage is you need to pay what you have used. Transaction. The transaction is in the DynamoDB. They provide Atomosity. The Atomosity, you know that Atomosity? What is the Atomosity? Yes, you cannot divide your data. And Atomosity and consistency. Consistency means your performance never get changed, and you can depend on the database. The isolation. You might provide isolate database and the data isolation and reliability, and they are providing transaction. Further transaction provides performance, scaling, and benefit for setting up the workload. Easy to implementing in the business use case. So the thing is that even your business use case is going to be complex. You can do the database you can set up the transaction things properly. Yeah, the next thing is the streaming. So streaming is something like this. Before I am coming to the streaming, I would like to talk about something called the archiving data. Imagine. So archiving data is something like this. So at the very beginning, you are just imagining you are having a shop. Okay, you have a shop. You have a customer called A. This is your shop. Okay, this is your shop. And you are working with the customer called A, and the thing is that over the you are maintaining a book for the A. You can say this is something like Nayaputta. Okay, and over the time duration, the A is going to go to Australia. Okay, if you don't happy about Australia, so go for Japan. He went to Japan and he's in here. Still A's page in the same book. Still A is in here. A's information is here, and there could be a B, C, D, F. There are new customers comes. Now what will happen? The book become very heavy. You are attaching pages to each day to this book. Now it is really hard to manage. The data archiving means this. Now you are not working with the person like A. You are not working with the A customer. What you can find all the customers who are not working with you currently. You are taking to the another book and keep them in separately. This is called data archiving. So if some data, it can automatically, the database will select some data. This data is not going to be used for months or years. So you can shift this data into some other place and keep and maintain it separately, because as a separate collection, it's an archive collection, sub-archive collection. If it's something not, when one day A is arrived and go to the shop. The shop person can get A's information from the archive data, not the Japan, from the archive section. Okay, this is the concept of minimizing the capacity of the database, minimize the current storage of the database, and provide the service. The streaming is a feature, something similar to that, but it is working on the opposite way. What do you mean by the opposite way? Okay. When you are searching your mobile phone, the contact list of in your mobile phone, when you are maintaining the contact list of in your mobile phone, when you're maintaining the contact list of in your mobile phone, so if you can get the last dial information, frequently used numbers automatically, then you are get comfortable. You might oftenly call to your mother and your sister, if maybe depending on your, if you have a relationship, probably you may call to them. So if they move based on the frequent, if your mobile contacts ordered, you can easily conduct your operations. That's why streaming is comes to the play. In the database, they're figuring out some data tuples, some items, some data items in the collections are extremely consumable. They are giving higher priority, or they are assigning caching mechanisms to take them, grab them, or retrieve them efficiently, or work with them efficiently. To do that, they are using the stream facility. The changing in the data, they identify what are the highly changeable items in the database and enable the streaming. Then they will enable the streaming feature and capture what are the recently changes, the changes that are happening recently in the database. And based on that, they are giving high priority for this item. Now you feel, okay, this is the database is not something like something similar to book. It is not a idle one. It is always executing. It always conduct some transactions. You no need to worry. This database is very smart. It can, even though you are doing lots of transactions, at the same time it will update the stream. It's conduct the streaming works. Further, the important thing is not that. You can consume this stream informations in your application. Reduce at first. Those kinds of fancy informations you can provide by using this streaming feature. To consume this stream feature, you need lambda expressions. You have to create the triggers through the lambda expressions and get the data and then use the streaming feature. What do you think? Nowadays, the making application is not something like this. Now, you no need to worry. Even you are making an application, you should focusedly. You have to extremely consider on the streaming, the features like streaming to provide smart application. The people prefer to use smart application, not the old type legacy applications. Okay. So you should use these kinds of features to provide more extra features, more extra user abstractions in the business. Another feature is the accelerator. Yes. Okay. This is your homework. Please guys, do this one. When you are using the database like Oracle, they are providing some features to improve their performance. How do you improve the performance in the database? I will explain one methodology. That the Oracle, the database like Oracle, they are working with the cacheable environment. They are using caching mechanisms to to storing the data. So what do you mean by the caching? Okay, the caching is similar like this. This example is not so good, but okay. So when we are taking a small shop in Sri Lanka, there's someone called Mudalali, the shop owner. He's sitting behind the cashier chair. Okay, but when you are asking Melbourne lemon puff, okay, he will go to the what we call rack or somewhere and take the biscuit and give it to you. When you are asking some elephant ginger beer, just go to the refrigerator, open and take it the ginger beer for you. When you are asking something like what do you or anything, he will go and buy this, bring this stuff. When you are asking cigarette, he's open the locker and give it to you. Why? When you are asking a box of matches, definitely open the drawer and give it to you. How it is happening? This is called caching. It means he's keeping whatever the things frequently people ask around himself, so somewhere close to access for him. This is called caching. So like the same, that you can use DynamoDB accelerator for the caching. Again, you have to be very conscious or very careful on this thing. If you are asking to hold some memory in the cloud environment, it is extremely cost. It is not like this. It means per hour, per minute, maybe per day, you have to pay some specific amount for each day. This is not. It is serious. It is serious. I have done that mistake, and we have stopped caching things. Memory caching is improve the performance. Yes, if you do the caching, now everything not in the hard disk, now everything is in where? In the cache pin where? Not the hard disk. I mean RAM. You're storing the things, you are brings and you are taking the portions of the RAM. You are dedicated. You are selecting the dedicated area of the RAM, and nobody cannot access that particular dedicated area. So it is very fast. You just need to do the processing, not the accessing. Managable, managed and highly available. When you're getting any services comes under AWS, it is you can configure. You can do some changes. You can set the amount that you are going to cache. Whether you are going to consume a 5 megabytes or 100 megabytes, 1 GB. Yes, you can configure. And highly available. Yes, if you request, they will dedicatedly give you. You can always available those things. By doing the caching, you can process millions of queries. Yes, this is interesting. You can process millions of queries per second. Provide the memory acceleration to the dynamic data table. Yes, you can. The DynamoDB provides the memory accessibility for the data table as well. Developer no need to manage the caching and validation. Yes, in the previous case, if you have to manually handle the caching things in your premises, but not in here. No data population. So it means you are not going to get the copy of data. You are not maintaining copy of data. You are caching the entire data, and this is another term called cluster. Please find lots of information on the cluster. The best way is I will give some small idea about the cluster, but you have to find little bit more information about the cluster. Not only the DynamoDB, the cluster in the MySQL, Oracle, and those areas. The cluster means when you get the Facebook use the Which kinds of database Facebook using? Can you guess what is the database management